Hello, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of the Arrowhead Kingdom Chiefs Cast, live from the Wolf Den. I am Chris.
And I'm Josh, and today we're going to be talking week one. So big reminder that all Chiefs fans are invited to join us for game day. Visit arrowheadkingdom.org to learn more about your group and find your local chapter. And also, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel.
Today we'll be talking about your Kansas City Chiefs with Solomon Scroggins, who is infamously denied Kareem Hunt the leap into the stands after, was it the touchdown or the 2-point conversion?
Touchdown.
The touchdown, yeah. Not having that, Kareem. But welcome, Solomon.
Got it. We are presented by Complete Weddings and Events, your leading provider of photo, video, DJ, photo booth lighting, and coordination services. Please visit them at completewedo.com. And going to go ahead and take a spot right here to throw the video of what we're actually talking about. And now we're going to jump right in with Solomon. So Solomon, let's talk about your story a little bit. So you woke up game day morning, and I don't think that it was completely in your mind that you were going to deny our pariah former running back Kareem Hunt. So kind of walk us through the day. How did everything start? What was your healthy breakfast that you had to prepare for what was about to go down?
Man, it started off, man, I couldn't sleep the night before, so I was up like 5 that morning, just pacing back and forth. And by the time, 7 o'clock rolled around, we all went down to the lobby, ate a little breakfast, man. I ate maybe 2 or 3 strips of bacon and had a beer. And then we headed out over to the stadium to start the tailgate.
Perfect.
Yeah,
so,
once we got, go ahead.
Go for it.
I was saying once we got to the tailgate, man, it was kind of like a blur until the game started, because we started cooking and drinking as usual.
Got it. So what lot do you tailgate in?
It was in the red section. That's all I remember, man. Over in C8.
Got it. C8. Okay, cool. So what was your seat number, your section and seat number?
It was section 109, row 1, seat 8 and 9.
Got it. Okay. And so do you sit in those seats often? Is that your normal spot for home games?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you make the trip up from Northwest Arkansas for all home games, correct?
Yeah, I don't miss a game. Been doing it now for 15 years now.
So 15 years coming up from Northwest Arkansas. And okay, so let's kind of set the scene here. So we're down. What's the score at this point?
I think it was 29. Was it 29-20, something like that? But anyway, we was down, so I was already kind of upset. And then, Hunt stole the touchdown. I think that was when it turned 29. But it kind of like was trying to rub it in. And, he was asking, shall I jump into the stands? So I was like, yeah, go ahead. I baited him on in. But once he jumped in the stand, I gave him the business, man.
There you go. And we'll go ahead and show that clip again because it's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll kind of set the scene on Kareem Hunt. So Kareem Hunt scored the 2-point conversion on the first touchdown. So this wasn't even the first time that you had to see him go in the end zone.
Right.
All right. And then just to recap, everybody who hasn't been watching Chiefs football for the past 5 years, Kareem Hunt was our dude in the running back position. Picture 2008, we're on this meteoric rise. We have an MVP at quarterback, and we're Super Bowl bound. And then we get into the late parts of the season, and Kareem Hunt decided to effectively dismiss himself from the team by poor conduct. And he's kind of gone out and played for the Browns since. And did he get the impression that he's still welcome in Kansas City and we still like him, or is this him just kind of trying to be a chump?
Man, really, I still got love for him, but at that moment while we're down and he's got the opposing team on, I just didn't take that too kindly to jump into the stands. I probably wasn't the only one that wanted to get him, so I just made sure I was the first one.
Got it. All right. Yeah. So since that's happened, you've become a bit of a viral sensation. I know that I've seen your video a handful of times, and I know just connecting with you on social media that you have plenty of people letting you know that they saw this video. So what's life been like since this past Sunday?
Oh, man, I've been on the phone for 20 hours a day, just answering messages. And, I have people just offering me tickets. taking me out for drinks, dinner, all kind of stuff, man. So it's been wild pretty much.
Got it. All right. And so you're also part of one of the newest chapters of the Arrowhead Kingdom group, the Northwest Arkansas. So how have the watch parties been down for the away games?
Man, it's been lovely. The group you're talking about, the Central Arkansas Chiefs, yeah, we've been in existence, man, for about 3 years now. And we link up, man, and we just have a good time. Everybody gather up. And like you say, we're just now joining a new group, to a bigger group. And
yeah,
I think that's just something special, So,
got it. And you guys are in the Bentonville area, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Okay. Well, do you want to talk about the rest of the game at this point? How's that sound?
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Like I say, we started off, man, it was looking kind of iffy, it was down, which I never thought we was gonna lose the game, but
Sure.
once we got down, the vibe wasn't good at the stand. So, and then like I said, Kareem Hunt tried to come over and rub it in the face. But once we got ahead, man, the crowd was rocking.
Got it. So you've been to a lot of home games. So when you say the vibe was down when the team was down, how does that compare to some of the other games that you've been to where the vibe was kind of down? Like let's take, for example, the Super Bowl winning season. Were you at that Texans game?
I was.
Okay. So how is the vibe this last Sunday compared to that Texans game?
I wouldn't say as worse, but it was kind of like an unsettling feeling, anytime you're behind really and you're watching the clock every down. But yeah, I mean that Texans game had another whole level with it in the playoffs too, and then we was down so big.
And also before we actually got over the hump and won anything significant, that's that didn't help that vibe as well. So sitting on the front row, what was your favorite play of the game aside from you sitting there blocking Kareem Hunt's shot? I mean, that was my favorite play of the game. What was your favorite play of the game?
I would probably say the 75-yard bomb that Mahomes threw, man. That was, once that happened, I mean, the crowd was electric, man.
Got it. Chris, what were your thoughts? What was your favorite play of the game?
Oh, I mean, it is hands down the Tyreek Hill 75-yarder, but I guess my second favorite play is when Juan Thornhill separated the football from Nick Chubb. I thought that was a really big turning point in the football game.
Yeah, absolutely. Chubb had a hell of a game, and to sit there and make him be part of a momentum change, I thought that was huge. So I completely agree with that. So let's jump back to Solomon. What was your favorite play call? So let's take your favorite play off the table. What was your favorite call that one of the coaching staff made?
I would probably have to say, man, the defensive play that got the interception at the end of the game. I'm not sure what play it was, but seemed to be Hughes was in the right place at the right time. So that would probably be my favorite.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the defense was definitely not the highlight of the game, but they definitely did their part at the end to close everything out. I mean, that play right there, Thornhill's force of the fumble, that Dan Sorensen sack, it was the tackle in the open field that he just seems to always make, which is why Dirty Dan, is one of our guys here. Gotta make sure I'm pointing with the right finger. Chris, what was your favorite play call?
It was really just more of a sequence of calls. I thought I liked Andy Reid's game plan in the third quarter. I mean, he actually helped take some pressure off of the line defense by trying to run the football, because I only think the Browns had the football for maybe like a minute in the third quarter. So it was, really, I thought that was important going to the fourth quarter, because I think that really helped the defense.
Yeah, so minute in the third quarter of possession, is that your favorite stat from the game? Are we parlaying into that?
No, I have a few different ones if you want me to go into that.
Yeah, let's rock.
Okay. Well, I mean, there are a lot of anomalies from this game, but the one that really was interesting to me is the fact that just how well the Browns did offensively, and the whole fact that teams that get 450 yards at 8 yards per play prior to the Browns over the last 10 seasons were 53-13, while scoring 29 points were 52-8. So once again, the Chiefs bucking the trend and turning that upside down.
Got it. Solomon, was your favorite stat of the game? Anything that jumped out?
Man, it would probably be the Mahomes, with the 300, what was it, 337 yards, the 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And you can't ask for much more.
Yeah, my favorite stats were going to 3-0 against Baker Mayfield for Mahomes, and also Mahomes passing Kurt Warner. And I like Kurt Warner calling his shot before Mahomes getting to that yardage plateau faster than anybody in history. And we didn't even really make a big deal out of that because Mahomes putting up stats just isn't really anything to write home about anymore these days. Yeah, exactly. So let's kind of close the book on the Chiefs here for a moment and talk about the rest of the AFC. So Solomon, is there anything that you noticed from the rest of the AFC that just jumped out as interesting or notable?
Well, the AFC West in particular, I found out that everybody in the West won the game, which sucks to me really, but yeah, that's kind of unusual for everybody in the West to win. But that means we need to stay on top of our game.
Yeah, Chris, what were your AFC notes?
Yeah, I guess my big one is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm curious again to know if this team is getting underestimated or not, because they went to Buffalo and had a nice win. And it's just kind of I made the note in our post game analysis, like is this really something? Should the Steelers get more credit for beating the Bills, or should the Bills get, I guess, more credit for not beating the Steelers? So I got my eye on the Steelers. I'm curious to see if they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I'm interested in that as well. The Steelers didn't really move the ball, so I have a hard time seeing them being an offensive force because Buffalo isn't really known for their defense, if you will, based on what the preseason showed and everything. But the Steelers certainly going into Buffalo and winning a game. I mean, they host the Raiders this weekend. We did our video. It was Billy and I from the 1558 podcast where we go through all of the games on the lines. The Steelers Raiders game is the one that I said I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole if I was betting on anything. I have no clue what we're going to be getting into with that game. I think the Steelers are going to win, but I think the Raiders are going to cover the spread. I kind of want to give a shout out to the West as well. At this point of the season, I'm kind of in college conference mode where, hey, I want my conference to win everything. And I think it's pretty cool that both the West and the AFC and the NFC are undefeated at this point. The Raiders, the Broncos, and the Chargers can all start being defeated as soon as they want to, though. That's the biggest thing that I'll throw out. So jumping into the NFC, the other thing that I noticed, again, the West, and they just look stout. I mean, every single one of those wins was pretty decisive. I mean, the one that I was least expecting was that Arizona Cardinals just completely thumping the Tennessee Titans. I thought Tennessee was going to go into Glendale and win pretty handily. So Solomon, what did you see in the NFC that jumped out at you?
And I tend to look at what we have on the menu, like we were playing that year. And I looked over the NFC East, but just watching I think it was the Eagles was the only team in that division that won. So yeah, that's what I was kind of paying attention to and wondering how is our competition going to be this year.
Yep. Chris, any of your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of piggyback on that, Solomon, because I wonder how good Jalen Hurts is going to be this year. He's kind of like that dark horse fantasy player this year. And, I think I said, when we were going through the schedule, I got a feeling that Eagles game is going to be weird for us in some way. So yeah, I'm wondering how good Jalen Hurts actually is.
Yeah, I think we're going to find out a little bit about the Eagles this week. They play the 49ers, I believe, which the Eagles have gotten a lot of love from the media here in the past couple of days. That being said, they really might win the NFC East, but I'm not positive that it's going to take more than a 9-8 record to win that division at this point. I'm kind of expecting the Cowboys to lose to the Chargers this weekend, which is going to be nuts because a 2-0 Chargers team that we actually kind of have to pay attention to is going to be weird. But yeah, I think that the NFC East is going to get 3 losses this weekend, and the only reason they're not getting 4 is because 2 of the teams are playing each other
right now.
But I definitely think that the NFC West is going to keep kind of marching. I think they go into week 3 with an 8-0 record, and honestly, I think that our division is going to go in with a 7-1 record, because I think the Raiders are going to lose, but I think the Broncos take care of business in Jacksonville, and the Chargers take care of business down in Dallas, which is going to make Dallas a really interesting situation if they go in at 0-2. So next thing I want to talk about, the old friend alert, which is a former Chiefs player or coach that caught your eye this week. So Solomon, what former player or coach caught your eye this week?
Man, I would say it'd have to be Christian Okoye. He's a childhood, growing up. And hey, I even named my son after him, Okoye. I don't know if you see in the background on the jersey, but yeah. But big time fan, man. And I think he even attended the game this past Sunday. So
Nice.
Yeah, we actually had him on the show in the middle of last season, and he talked about how he goes to most of the games, and he stayed a huge fan, which is just awesome. I mean, he's been a great ambassador for the team, and knowing that he's still a fan is great. Arrowhead Kingdom has some great events coming up. If you check out the calendar on the arrowheadkingdom.org site, I don't know that it's been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure that Christian Okoye may or may not be showing up to some of these events coming up. So I'll throw that out as a little bit of a teaser. So there could be an actual meet and greet. Chris, what was your old friend alert?
Well, this happened to be kind of coincidental. We were sitting there watching the game on Sunday. I look up at the screen, and what do I see? I see the Packers fumbling the ball. And why? Because Tano Passango forced the fumble. So he was part of the barrage on the Packers. He's now a member of the Saints. He had 2 quarterback hits, and then that forced fumble.
Yeah, that Packers team, we probably shouldn't go on without mentioning Chris and I's local people that we have to deal with. That game was horrible. That game was absolutely horrible. So my old friend alert, I couldn't help but notice anything other than Kareem Hunt trying to jump in the stands and being denied, and can't watch a Browns game without paying attention to him a little bit, and also thinking, what if? I mean, that season, that's probably the most balanced offense that I can recall seeing really any time in my time watching the Chiefs. I mean, our aerial attack was of course going, and Kareem Hunt was moving the ball at will. And I still believe that if he would have just kept his act together, that could have been the first of 3 Super Bowl appearances that we would have had. I don't see any reason to see why we wouldn't have beaten the Rams that year. And we could be going for 3 out of 4 this year. So thanks again, Kareem, for a great what if there. All right. So next thing that we want to get into is a shtick that we do every week. If the football week was a song. So Solomon, if this last week was a song, this can be Chiefs related, this can be all NFL related, but what song are you singing in your head, and explain yourself?
Man, it would definitely have to be We Ready. I don't know who sings it, but the We Ready song, I played it that morning and played it in tailgate, and guess what? I heard it out when I was in the stand. So that's how to do a song, man. It gets me hyped.
There you go. All right, Chris, where are you at? And I know that we talked about this when we were sitting there watching the game.
Yeah, I got a few good ones, but I think the one that I'm gonna go with is Fooling Yourself by Styx. And the reason why is just all the talk about the Browns blowing the game, and the Chiefs. There was a dumb article on Deadspin about saying that the Chiefs were like sleepwalking through the first 3 quarters to basically not give the Browns any credit. So if you think the Chiefs didn't knock off was probably the second best team in the AFC this year, then you're fooling yourself. So give the Browns credit, be happy, because you knocked off a really good football team on Sunday.
Yeah, so last year before the playoffs, we did a couple of smack talk with Browns fans, and these were connections of mine. And so I connected with both of those guys after this, and the exact commentary that I got was consistently the Browns are one step away from the Chiefs. The Chiefs are still a better team, but I mean, Cleveland has every single reason to be excited. They're going to be seeing playoff football this year. They should be winning that AFC North. And I think that we as Chiefs fans need to be prepared to see that team again, and we need to make sure the team is taking care of business. So we're hosting and not going out there, because I don't know that I would be too terribly interested in going to the dog pound in January. So it's my thoughts on that. So my week as a song, I'm going to go with what I told Chris I was going to go with, which is Bohemian Rhapsody. And that song has some of the highest of highs, intensest of intenses, and lowest of lows. And there's just the whole mellow part of everything. And that's kind of how that game was. It just, the whole no, 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 no. And then they score all those points. And then you have the nice outro and the gong hit at the end. And that's when we all went home. So that's how I felt about that game. It was just kind of a roller coaster. Had a lot of belief the entire time that we were going to win, but the Browns definitely did everything in their power to make that question. And it sounds like they made Arrowhead feel that as well. So, Solid, you a big fantasy guy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. So who was your fantasy stat jump out of the week? Who did you have your eye on?
Well, I had my eye, of course, on Mahomes, but I couldn't actually get him.
Sure.
Yeah, that as far as Mahomes being at 11-0 in September, that is crazy with the 35 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Yeah.
That would be my guy.
Points machine. Chris, who you got?
I got a few, but I'm going to go with Deebo Samuel, man. He actually was kind of under the radar blowing up, probably because the Lions are so terrible and the 49ers just got out to a huge lead. But let me pull up the stats real quick. Yeah, 9 catches, 189 yards, and 1 touchdown. To do that with Jimmy Garoppolo throwing you the football, I mean, that's something to be said right there.
Yeah, so the players that jumped out at me more than anything, Jalen Hurts. Chris and I are representing this, show, if you will, in a content creators league where we're playing against the likes of Arrowhead Pride, Arrowhead Addict. We're playing against 1558, Red and Gold Report. I should probably just bring up, we got SI, Mark Van Sickle that we're playing against as well. So we got a ton of just great Chiefs content creators talent in there. We picked up Jalen Hurts to be part of our quarterback bench, knowing that he was this dark horse potential fantasy maven that we could potentially have coming up this year. And he put up 28 points in the first game of the season for an Eagles team that we really had no idea what we were possibly getting from them. So he was definitely somebody that I had my eye on. Alrighty. So how many teams do you play, Solomon?
I'm sorry.
How many fantasy teams do you run?
Just 2. I got 2 of them.
What are your records so far?
Well, the previous years, I won the division or whatever, but I'm 0-1 now.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Chris, what's your stable look like?
So I guess the 3 other leagues that I'm in, that is not ours. I think I'm 1-0 in all 3 of them. So
got it. Yep. So I have 5, including one that Chris and I do. Fantasy is a drug, and I'm addicted. Ended up going 3-2. So excited about that. We also have Tucker Franklin. I just want to throw everybody out. We have Brent, who's part of the writers room out of West Palm Beach from the Chiefs group. We also have David Bell, who is a fellow writer with me on the Arrowhead One site. And so just got to gloat here for a second. Chris and I put up the hands down highest amount. We put up 171 points in an ESPN league in PPR scoring. So I think we did fairly well there.
So I guess I'm 4-0.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. All righty. So before we get out of here, the thing that we always do is take a final take, which is a chance for everybody on the show, including our guests who will go first, to talk about anything they want to. Can be Chiefs related, cannot. The floor is literally yours. So Solomon, what do you got for our Arrowhead Kingdom?
Man, I would have to say, as far as the chief groups, man, like the various chief groups around each state, I think that's a wonderful thing. Anytime you go out on a away game, you can always link up with another chief group to watch the game with, so I think that's big, man. Even with the one home, sometimes we do go to other states as a group, and watch that game and link up with someone from another state. So I think the chief groups are wonderful, man.
Yeah. So glad to hear you say that, as somebody who's kind of intimately part of helping be part of the engine that makes this happen. I mean, big tip of the cap and shout out to Doug Morris for all the networking that he's done. And I think that's who connected with you guys. Biggest thing is just building this community of Chiefs fans. This is the golden age of Chiefs football. We are the biggest fan community for the best team in the world. And so the mathematical equation that we're pushing is that we are the biggest and best fan group in the world. And we're so glad to have Arkansas as part of this. And we just want everybody to have a home on all the away games. And if you ever get stuck traveling on the weekend for a family vacation or work, you ought to be able to find some kindred spirits to watch a football game with. All right, Chris, what do you got?
Well, so such a big Milwaukee win NBA champion was the next day. Yes, Jim Paschke, who was the longtime play-by-play announcer for Bucks TV, is just retired.
Yep.
And he's going to be replaced by the first woman to actually be a full play-by-play announcer for a major men's professional sports team, and that is Lisa Byington. So I think that's really cool, and congratulations to her, and it continues to be just an awesome year for the Bucks.
Yeah, Lisa's good stuff. She definitely knows her stuff, and she's filling, big shoes. A guy who got to call a championship for the first time since the 70s, when a guy named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar happened to be playing here. And so Lisa's stepping into big shoes, and there's going to be great things from her. And Bucks basketball is exciting. I'm going to stay Milwaukee centric as well. I haven't been in a sports building, and we're probably talking about the places where I went to college, watching games more than Miller Park, which is now American Family Field. And so I've been to a ton of Brewer games, and this week one Ryan Braun announced his retirement, and I've definitely gotten very partial to the Milwaukee Brewers, watching him go through some pretty excellent seasons, including the 2011 season where Braun was the MVP. They had Zach Greinke on the mound. That was just a really exciting team. They were, a couple of plays against the Cardinals away from going to a World Series. They've gotten close here again recently. Just couldn't quite get past the Dodgers and everything. Ryan Braun's gonna leave the game with a little bit of a complicated legacy, just based on the PED stuff that went down. But as a whole, he was always an exciting player to watch here, and anytime that he would step up to the plate with any kind of leverage situation at Miller Park, it was always just an electric scenario. And so definitely missed seeing Ryan Braun in his prime these past couple of seasons, and it's going to be kind of weird not having him out on the field. But good career to Ryan Braun. Don't know what kind of postseason accolade or post-career accolades he's going to get. It'll be interesting to see how the Hall of Fame committee looks at him. I'm inclined to say that he probably doesn't get in, and if he does, he's going to have to wait the entire 15 years. But it was definitely exciting watching him. So cool. Well, once again, big thanks to our guest Solomon Scroggins for joining us today, and thank you for representing the entire Arrowhead Kingdom and Chiefs Nation, and letting Kareem Hunt know that you do not leap into the stands wearing an opposing uniform. All right. And with that one, good night.
All right, man.
Thanks, all.
Take it easy. All right.